second graders. Welcome to Bugs Week. We are moving on out of the ocean and onto land this week. And so if you look at your May 11th packet that I sent home with you, you're going to see there is a hunting ghost crabs story. That is not for today. And there's also a 3-2-1 paper. This is something you'll be able to complete on paper here or online when that day comes. And you will also see our weekly art project. It's a jar of fireflies, which will go with the story. And you're going to notice the paper is about fireflies. Well, our story is fiction, but on Thursday, our mini book Thursday, will focus on nonfiction of fireflies, so learning the real facts about fireflies. Our sound that we're going to focus on this week is vowel buddies, also known as vowel teams. That's when two vowels are next to each other, like E says E, EA says E most of the time, OA says O. OO has two sounds. We can say oo or OU says ow or ooh. AI says A. And those are the main ones we will focus on this week. I might throw in a little AY says A once in a while as well. And AU says aw. Remember those cute little ones they like to hug and they say aw. So we will focus on that sound. This will be our last week of sound review. Next week's our last week of school already. Where in the world did the year go? Next week, you will get a choice if you want to take a big spelling test of 25 words to end the year with. All right, I hope you enjoy our story of the day.
The Adventures of Minnie Palmer. Psst. Hey, second graders. How are you? Guess what? I have some jokes for you. Get it? Get it? Here we go. What do you call a snail on a ship? A snailer. What do you call a fly with no wings? A walk. What is the smartest bug? Ready for this one? A spelling bee. What do frogs order when they go to a restaurant? French fries. Oh, I'm so funny. What did the firefly say to the other firefly? You glow, girl. Our skill of the week is author's purpose. Authors write for one of three reasons, and we use the word pie to help us remember. The reasons are P, to persuade, to talk you into something, I, to inform or teach you something, or E, to entertain you. And we will go through this much deeper tomorrow. But as we read our story this week, try to think about why was this story written? All right, boys and girls, our story of the week is Fireflies, Story and Pictures by Julie Brinklow. This is a really cool story about, you guessed it, fireflies. Here we go. On a summer evening, I looked up from dinner through the open window to the backyard. It was growing dark. My tree house was a black shape in the tree, and I wouldn't go up there now. But something flickered there. A moment. I looked and it was gone. It flickered again. Over near the fence. Fireflies! Don't let your dinner get cold, said Mama. I forked the meat and corn and potatoes into my mouth. Please, may I go out? The fireflies! Mama smiled and Daddy nodded. Go ahead, they said. I ran from the table, down to the cellar to find a jar. I knew where to look. Behind the stairs. The jars were dusty, and I polished it clean on my shirt. Then I ran back up, 2 steps at a time. Holes, I remembered, so they can breathe. And as quietly as I could, so she wouldn't catch me dulling them, I poked holes in the top of the jar with Mama's scissors. The screen door banged behind me as I ran from the house. If someone said, "Don't slam it," I wasn't listening. I called to my friends in the street, "Fireflies!" But they had come before me with polished jars, and others were coming behind. The sky was darker now. My ears rang with crickets, and my eyes stung from staring too long. I blinked hard as I watched them. Fireflies! Blinking on, blinking off, dipping low, soaring high above my head, making white patterns in the dark. We ran like crazy, barefoot in the grass. "Catch them! Catch them!" we cried, grasping at the lights. Suddenly, a voice called out above the others, "I caught one!" And I thrust my hand into the jar and spread it open. The jar glowed like moonlight, and I held it in my hands. I felt a tremble of joy, and I shouted, "I can catch hundreds!" Then we dashed about, waving our hands in the air like nets, catching 2, 10, hundreds of fireflies, thrusting them into jars, waving our hands for more. Then someone called from my house, "It's time to come in now," and others called from other houses, and it was over. My friends took jars of fireflies to different homes. I climbed the stairs to my room and set the jar on a table by my bed. Mama kissed me and turned out the light. "I caught hundreds," I said. Daddy called from the hallway, "See you later, alligator." "After a while, crocodile," I called back. "I caught hundreds of fireflies." In the dark, I watched the fireflies from my bed. They blinked off and on, and the jar glowed like moonlight. But it was not the same. The fireflies beat their wings against the glass and fell to the bottom and lay there. The light in the jar turned yellow, like a flashlight left on too long. I tried to swallow, but something in my throat would not go down. And the light grew dimmer, green, like moonlight under water. I shut my eyes tight and put the pillow over my head. They were my fireflies. I caught them. They made moonlight in my jar. But the jar was nearly dark. I flung off the covers. I went to the window, opened the jar, and aimed it at the stars. "Fly!" Then the jar began to glow. Green, then gold, then white as the moon, and the fireflies poured out into the night. Fireflies! Blinking on, blinking off, dipping low, soaring high above my head, making circles around the moon like stars dancing. I held the jar, dark and empty, in my hands. The moonlight and the fireflies swam in my tears, but I could feel myself smiling. Now that we've heard our story, talk with your family. Was it written to P, persuade you to talk you into something? I, to inform you or teach you? Or was it just pure for entertainment? Have a great day.